What's up, my dudes? I hope you boys are having a good Christmas Eve / Christmas time. You know the old Spency boy. I never take a day off. Work around the clock, my engineer getting paid off. We all know I ain't going to college, boy. We're about to make it on this YouTube shit, boy. Okay. I done had my little fun at college, okay, but let's continue here. Okay, so wanted to come in here and make this video. Mxgp 2020 versus 21. I think it's very important to look directly at the similarities, comparisons, because I know a lot of you boys are going down this road of, well, I actually like Mxgp 2021, and I actually, you know, all these little defenses for it and stuff like that. Listen, they are getting to a point where it's all just getting so copy and pasted similar, and I'm not just talking in gameplay. I'm talking menus, I'm talking customization, I'm talking UI, I'm talking HUD, I'm talking all of that kind of stuff is what's making it not worth another $60. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I've said from the very beginning, if these games were $30, $20 or $30, there wouldn't even be a complaint about it, you know? But my whole problem with it is it's not another $60 worth your money. Do you see what I'm saying? For instance, let's just go in here to customization, okay? I haven't done a lot of this in my in a lot of my review videos of 21, but this is Mxgp 2020 right here. Okay, don't get confused. It's very easy to get confused because they are almost identical. I mean, just everything, like this, the way all these menus are, like the outfit up here and the data down here, all that stuff is literally identical. It's just a different color on Mxgp 2021. That's what we've gotten to at this point. The menus are exactly the same. The HUD, UI, everything's exactly the same. It's just a different color. I mean, we are literally to that point, boys. Even down to this menu over here. I just went through this on Mxgp 21, and it's the exact same kind of menu system. This left and right bumper to go up and down, it is laser directly copy and pasted, dude. Like, oh, and by the way, in Mxgp 2020, you have Alpine Star Tech 10s. Tech 10s. You know, you don't have that in Mxgp 2021. You have Tech 10s in 2020. You did not have this in 21. Do you see why people are getting upset about Mxgp 2021? Do you see, you know what I mean? It's not hating on the motocross gaming community. We are entering into this age of 2K, EA, not worth $60, making too many games a year. That's really the biggest problem with these milestone games, hands down, without a doubt. Okay, so I really wanted to go in here on Mxgp 2020 with 21's gameplay being so fresh on my mind. I can compare things almost directly at this point, and on some of these tracks that are in both of the games, I can compare them basically directly. And I really wanted to get in here and do that because I know there's a lot of people thinking that they like Mxgp 2021's physics better than Mxgp 2020 and all that. What I think we're running into here with these Mxgp games, not so much in the Supercross games because they do seem to change those enough. For me personally, it seems like they're, at least with like Supercross 3 and 4, they've definitely started to make some massive changes, but for me personally, with these Mxgp games, it seems like we're getting to this point to where they're just directly copy and pasting literally everything as far as like UI, menus, HUD. You notice how this is the exact same HUD as Mxgp 2021. It's just a different color. So instead of being, you know, red, it's orange on Mxgp 2020, right? Whereas Mxgp 2021, it's red. It's just like, bruh. The exact same HUD, mini-map, menus, options. You know, if you go to, like, return to pit like this, It's all of the exact same options, the exact same bike setup stuff, the exact same menus, the exact same everything. The only thing that even remotely gets changed in these Mxgp games now is they'll go in there and mess around with the physics a little bit, and then they've tried to add a little bit more pre-made ruts and roughness with Mxgp 2021. That's all that's really getting changed. I mean, when it comes to menus and, options and, track editor options, customization on the rider, all of that kind of stuff, when I say it's literally exactly the same, I mean that it's literally exactly the same. Okay, let's get in this more zoomed out camera. This one's a little more rideable in the game. But, yeah, one thing I'm noticing as soon as I get back here on Mxgp 2020, there's nowhere near as much controller vibration in this game. I think that's one thing that's giving you boys this little vibe like you're feeling this more, Mxgp 2021 feels so good and I get more of a roughness feeling and all this stuff. I think a big reason for that is the controller vibration. The default controller vibration on Mxgp 2021 is literally 3 times as much or more than it is on 2020. Another one of those little tactics to make you feel like you're actually feeling more roughness or you're feeling the terrain deformation more than you really are. You know what I mean? But man, I mean, to be completely honest with you, like the physics of the bike and everything, I mean, it feels so much less buggy on Mxgp 2020 than it does on 21 to me. Like, this gameplay feels so much smoother to me than 2021 does. It really does. Like, even if I turn that bike really, really hard in a corner, it doesn't instantly try to pop me off the bike or instantly try to, spin the bike out or instantly try to... I mean, oh my gosh, there is so many occasions on Mxgp 2021 where the bike will you'll just fall off the bike. You'll just pop off the bike for no good reason. Mxgp 2021 literally feels like they took some of the worst elements of the physics system from like Mxgp Pro. Sometimes you'll pop off in that game for literally no reason at all. Dude, I'm telling you right now, like, if you had the little bit more roughness and the little bit bigger inside pre-made ruts that you have in Mxgp 2021, if you could put that into these tracks on Mxgp 2020, this would be a better game. This is a better physics system, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, yeah, you may not have quite as much like leaning forward and backwards on the bike, like you might be able to say that, but it's so much less annoying. This feels so much smoother of a gameplay experience than Mxgp 2021 feels like to me. And that just goes to show you the bugged level feeling. You see how I'm just getting around this track without falling down or popping off or having any weird, street bike level, the bike just going crazy and spazzing out on me and all that weird shit that it'll do in Mxgp 2021. You see how the bike is not doing any of that here? You see how it's just kind of naturally going around the track? It's not being, it's not trying to spaz out on me. I mean, it'll do it right there if you go off of the track, but as far as on the track, it's just so much more fluent and flowing gameplay. Like, there is no reason to buy Mxgp 2021, dude. There's just not. Like, straight up, dude. Okay, so here we are on Mxgp 2021. You notice how the menus and the way everything is laid out is literally the exact same. Let's go to the customization. Let's go in here. Notice how all this shit looks literally identical to what we were just looking at. I'm not talking like somewhat similar. I'm talking directly copy and pasted menu systems. You just can't have this going from a $60 game to another AAA $60 game. It's too similar for that. Look at how these menus, it's literally identical, bro. Look at the menus over here. Left and right bumper going up and down. Oh my God. It's the exact same shit, bro. It is the exact same shit, bro. Other than the fact that they just took away Tech 10s from you in this game. So it's the exact same menu and everything as the previous MXGP game. You just can't have Tech 10s, Alpine Star Tech 10 boots in this game. So they just took things away from you. Okay. Let's go in here to the track editor, okay? So, Apple Orchard, Plains, Woods, Quarry, okay? That's the same exact 3 places you had in MXGP 2020. They just added this desert shit in this update to MXGP 2021, but when it first came out, the exact 4 areas to build a custom... Dog, they're not doing anything with this game. There is no advancement been done to this game. They're just, in the grand scheme of it, like, any little advancement you can say that's been made to this game, it's totally drowned it out by everything else that's been directly and copy and pasted from the previous game. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, just remember what we were just looking at in MXGP 2020 when it comes to the menus, and then when you go to bike setup, everything is exactly the same. Not even just the options, but where they're laid out on the screen. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything's in the exact same spot, the exact same areas, the exact same way that you would select everything. It's the exact same. It is literally the exact same, bro. Okay, so let me get in here and try to directly compare this gameplay here a little bit. So I do think they've updated a little bit of that buggy, janky feeling to this game with that first update that they've done to it, right? So it's going to be a little different trying to compare this now versus when it first came out. Oh my God, this was some dog water when it first came out, bro. Whoo-wee. But nonetheless, okay, hang on just a minute here. Let me see something here real quick. Let's see. But yeah, I definitely noticed, like, with the physics of the bike, I notice more of that rocking back and forth in this game than I do in MXGP 2020. I don't know what the deal is with that. You know, there's that more, like when you're trying to steer left and right, this has got more of a rocking feeling to it, which is a little bit bizarre. Yeah, they have definitely fixed a couple little things to the physics. I can just tell right off the bat. It's not quite as janky and buggy as it was when this game first came out. They have definitely done some of that with that first update. And I noticed that a little bit when I took a look at the first update in a video, but they've tweaked on it a little bit. Like, some of you guys that go in here and play this game nowadays at this point, after they start doing updates to it, you're not even going to understand the issues that this game had when it first came out. You're not even going to begin to understand the buggy, janky, pop off everywhere for no reason, weird bullshit, street bike level traction, fishtailing like an actual crotch rocket. Like, you're just not going to understand all of those little buggy things, elements to the physics of the bike that this game had to it when it first came out. It was released in a completely broken state when it comes to the physics of the bike and the whips on the PC version. I can't speak to the console version because I don't play it on console. I heard that the bugs weren't quite as bad on console when it came out, but oh my God, on this PC Steam version, dude, it was terrible. Look, it's trying to do it right there a little bit, but oh my gosh. But yeah, like on a track like this in particular, it's just, especially if you've been somebody that's played these Milestone games from day one, you know what Milestone does. This is one of the, like I'm saying, one of the biggest examples of copy and paste that I've seen with any of the MXGP games beforehand. Like, when you go to MXGP 2 to 3, it's not as copy and paste as going from 20 to 21. When you go from MXGP 3 to Pro, it's not as copy and paste as going from MXGP 20 to 21. Do you see what I'm saying? That's really, at the end of the day, my biggest problem with it. They have gotten so caught up in that copy and paste shit. Let me pull up the, hang on just a second right here. Let me get the HUD back on just to show you what I'm talking about with how similar this shit is. Okay. Notice how that HUD is literally copy and pasted. It's just a different color. You notice that? Shit, I almost think it even looks better on Mxgp 2020. This kind of has like a not as graphical. I mean, this almost looks like this HUD was made like in Microsoft Paint or something like that. Look at the bike right there. Oh, boys, that was a good example of sometimes you'll be turning in a corner and the bike will just get locked into this animation where it will just fall over. It's like you're sitting there looking in this slow motion fall over animation and you can't do anything about it. Oh, man. But when it comes to just the simple buggy feeling to the physics itself, I'm telling you there is so much more of that on Mxgp 21 than there was in 2020. Without a doubt, dude. Without a doubt. Like, I have no doubt about that in my mind. But, again, when it comes to track scaling, the layout of everything, you know, that part of it is exactly the same on these tracks. The only thing that's been changed with these tracks is a micro little bit more of pre-made roughness, and I'm not even saying there's a lot more been put. I think what's happening is with that way more controller vibration that Milestone has put into Mxgp 2021, it's given a lot of you boys this illusion that it's so much more realistic and it's different and it's got way more pre-made roughness and all this shit. But in reality, how much is that roughness really affecting the bike? It's not. You're not really going to flip over the bike any more in this game than you would have in 2020, even though there's quote-unquote more, pre-made roughness in this game. You're not really going to flip over more in this game, so it's like it's not even really there in a sense. That's what I'm saying. It's not... Look at the bike. Oh, me, oh, my. Some of you boys that genuinely think that this game is just better or you like the gameplay better than 2020 or whatever, dude, you've got... Milestone has trained you to such a point that you're literally tricking your own self into thinking things at this point. Do you see what I'm saying? You're tricking yourself, bro. Like... oh my God. Look at the camera. Yeah, Milestone, I like to be able to look at just the Monster Energy logo on my front fender when I come off of a jump face. That's all I need to see, you know? When I lean back over a jump face, I don't need to see any part of the bike. I just need to see the very tip end of my front fender. That's cool, man, you know? Your 11th dirt bike game in a AAA $60 game studio. Look at this. Man, oh man. It's like Milestone can give you boys these tiny little breadcrumbs, and you boys act like they're giving you a full course meal. They give you these tiny little breadcrumbs, little bit more roughness, little bit bigger pre-made berms, you know, and you boys think they've made this big advancement to their next game, or they've made this big change, when literally every other aspect of the game has went backwards. It just has. It just has. There's no doubt about that, dude. It's either went backwards or it's just stayed the exact same. Either one of the things, it's almost the same difference because you're paying another $60 for the same thing. Okay, so we're back in Mxgp 2020 here. You know, I have to clarify which game we're in because they're so damn similar. It's hard to even tell which one we're actually on or not. It's like, oh, is that 2020 or is that one 21? Which one is that? But look at the HUD. Like, look at the mini map and then the HUD over here to the right. Look at how... See how it's almost like a two-tone coloration? This just looks better to me than Mxgp 2021's HUD. This straight up just looks like there was more effort put into the HUD of this. Even though they're literally copy and paste level similar, still, like, you see how there's almost like a two-toned coloration to it's almost like an orange mixed with the yellow, mixed with the red. You see how that kind of is on the HUD there? Whereas when you go to 21, it's just red. It's just straight up red, and it just looks so much more basic, but nonetheless, oh man, I swear, some of you boys that you're getting this idea that 21 is actually a good game and, oh man, you should buy it and it's worth the money and all that, you would literally have to be such a Mxgp game fanboy to even begin to think down that road, or you didn't really play 19 or 20. That's the only way I can see you going down that road of thinking that 21 is really like a good game or it's worth $60 or whatever. Bruh. And some of you guys might be saying stuff like, well, look at the difference of the terrain deformation. There's actually more terrain deformation in MXGP 2021 than there is 2020. Okay, so you do realize you're comparing to MXGP 2020 that literally didn't even have a visual terrain deformation to it at all. So, what are you really saying by that, bro? That's not really saying much by saying, well, the terrain deformation is more on 21. Okay, well, it was literally nothing on 2020. So, what are you really saying here? And it was more on MXGP3 than it was in either one of these games. Oh, so it's not really all that much of an improvement. It's just some bullshit scheme that Milestone is pulling on you boys to make you think they're actually giving you something new or making an improvement when they're really not. They've just stripped away all of these things from you, and they're finally giving it back to you in a certain kind of way so it gets you boys all hyped up, get you boys all giddy about it, when it's really a bunch of bullshit. But, like, I can already tell you right now, like, there's just something about MXGP 2020's gameplay. It's just more fluent to me. It just flows better. Something about it, like, it doesn't require as much of that weird, like, it doesn't feel like you have to fight the bike as much to get it around the track on 2020 as it does in 21. Okay, here's a little experiment I want some of you boys to try out. I want you to go into MXGP 2021. Okay, I want you to go in here to the menus, go to options, go to controller configuration, go to your controller, and turn vibration off. Turn it completely off. Or put it on low, right? Don't have it on the default, which is normal. Put it on low or off, and then go in here and ride around on a track, and you tell me if it's got the same physical feeling with the roughness and you think you're feeling all this more shit than you felt on MXGP 2020. You tell me if it's really the same. What's happened here is, let me give you a good example right here. Let me go back into this menu just show you. So with the more vibration of this game, right, like the low vibration of this game is basically the same equivalent of the normal vibration of MXGP 2020, right? And then the normal vibration of this game is like double or triple the amount of vibration that it is on MXGP 2020. So that must be some next-gen PS5 shit they're trying to do in this game, but nonetheless, what it does is it tricks a lot of you boys, especially boys that aren't really into these motocross games. It tricks you boys into thinking you're getting this different experience or this more quote-unquote realistic experience because you're feeling all of this roughness more and you're feeling these ruts more and all this type of shit. And the reality of it is you're not. You're feeling the vibration more. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a big difference. Look how narrow this fucking track is. Oh my God. But this is an occasion right here of a slightly different layout because there was a different layout on the real life track, and so they changed that. There's some of these tracks where they did get a little bit of a layout change in one little area on the real life track, but as far as the scaling, the size of everything, it's not different at all in these games. If anything, this is the craziest part about when you start talking about the scaling. If anything, some of these tracks that are in both of these games, 2020 and 21, I swear to God, it feels like they've cramped the scaling down even more on MXGP 2020 than it was in 21. Like some of these tracks, like this track right here, some parts on this track feel even more narrow than they were in MXGP 2020. You're literally going backwards, Milestone. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We didn't want the tracks more narrow. We didn't want the areas even smaller and the lanes even smaller and the jumps even smaller. We wanted you to make the scaling bigger. Like, what the fuck? I swear, though, it feels like they've made some elements of the scaling even smaller, particularly with how narrow the tracks are. The tracks feel even more narrow in MXGP 21 than they did feel in 2020. Like, what the hell? What the absolute hell? But you know how easy it is to trick people when you go in there and you make it look a little bit more graphical. You get more of a visual terrain deformation system. You put more vibration to the controller. And it's going to trick so many people into thinking that MXGP 21 is this, you know, like different experience than 2020, or it's like this whole new, more realistic feeling to the game. And do you see what I'm saying? How they're tricking you boys up. They're scamming you boys into thinking that way when that's not really at the end of the day what it is. When you look at the pure gameplay, track designs, you know, the actual physical reaction of that bike in front of you when it's hitting obstacles on the track, all of that shit, it's not $60 different. It's really not as different as it seems from a first glance. It's not as different as some of you boys got it in your head that it really is. It's just not. And that, at the end of the day, is what it comes down to. It's not as different as you boys are getting this idea that it is. It's just not. That controller vibration is such a huge thing. When you turn that to low or off on MXGP 2021, you're going to be like, oh my God, I have been fooled. I have literally been fooled into thinking that this game feels so much different than 2020, and the reality of it is it's really not. It's just more controller vibration. Good try, Milestone. Good try, buddy. But you're not going to fool me. Sorry. Oh, man. And it's just like, what? Too little, too late is what I would call the terrain deformation of MXGP 2021. That's the level the deformation should have been in MXGP Pro. You do realize that, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Any little micro positive you can take out of this game should have been in there in the MXGP Pro days without a doubt. No doubt about it. But yeah, as far as the physics itself, I mean, it's just like, this ain't different enough to be the next $60 MXGP game. Nothing about this game is different enough to be the next $60 MXGP game. Now, if this would have been $30, it would have been fine. You know, if it had been $25, $30, that would have been fine. Again, all those little micro positives you boys try to pull out of this game, you MXGP fanboy boys try to pull out of this game, it ain't $60 worthy. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I think a lot of you guys, you get caught up in all the other horse shit, and you're like, well, Spencer, but the game feels a little bit better, and you got a little bit more movement, and blah, 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 blah. But the reality of it is, it's not $60 worthy. It's not another $60 worthy upgrade from MXGP 2020. It's just simply not. There is no question about... Look how narrow this is. Oh, man. Whew. Unbelievable level. Narrow, cramped, tight. I don't know why they have tried so hard to make these tracks so much down that vein, but good God. This is not arcade motocross game track scaling. This is some new age bullshit trying to be some perfectly one-to-one replica, zero fun factor level scaling to a track. I don't know what, like, Milestone, I really don't know what you're smoking, but I would like some of it because this is some other earthly shit right here, dude. I don't even know what this is, bro. Okay, I wanted to go in here to the track editor real quick just to flip through these different modules just to show you how similar this editor really is, okay? Change cameras to this. Oh boy, you got it. Oh, looky here. Here's a bug, guys. I can't even see what the fuck I'm doing. You like that, boys? We are experiencing one of the many bugs of the track editor. Like, when you specifically get on these straightaway module pieces, you can't even see what you're doing. Do you see the problem? See what we're dealing with here? It's still bugged out. I still can't see what I'm doing. There's all kinds of weird, like, zoom in and out camera bugs in this game. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're all over this game. Even in the gameplay itself, like the third-person cameras, the way those zoom in and out. Look at this. Why the fuck is this zooming me out to where I can see what I'm doing with this module piece, but then zooms me back into where I can't see what I'm doing with these other modules? This is literally a bug in their game. After the first update. These are unfixed bugs after the first update in this game. But anyways, just pay attention to these module pieces, okay? Just pay attention to these module pieces. And we'll go in there on 2020 and I'll show you the similarities, man. Okay, here we are on the track editor of Mxgp 2020, or is it 21? Can you even tell the difference? Nope. Okay, let's plop that down. Let's go to this view. Okay. Oh my god, this is great not having the super zoomed in bug. Hey, guess what, guys? Mxgp 2020's track editor is actually more usable than 21's track editor because it's not bug-ridden to shit. But you boys still try to defend 21. Do you see the problem I have? See how the camera just stays zoomed out like it's supposed to be, no matter what module piece I go to? Whoa, I stand corrected. Oh. Okay, we got a little bit of it here on 2020. But look at these module pieces, though. You see any similarities here, boys? Yeah, they're the exact same. See any similarities here with these module pieces, guys? Yeah, they're the exact same. That's the similarities you're seeing. They're literally the exact same module pieces. It's the exact same. This is what people are saying when they say copy and paste. It's literally, there is no different mod. It's the exact same areas to build your track, custom track on. You know, the plains, woods, you know, quarry, all that shit. And the exact same module pieces. Hello? Like, milestone? This is what you call unacceptable. They have gotten to the point to where they literally didn't even change anything with their track editor. Nothing. I'm talking nothing. They can't even give you new module pieces. But, you know, all those stupid-ass reviewing, you know, things, as long as a new game's got better graphics, they're going to say it's amazing. Okay, we all know how stupid and untrustable those, you know, untrustworthy those stupid review outlets and shit are. But you can see the real here. When people say copy and paste, this is Mxgp 2020 here, I repeat. There's just literally no reason to buy Mxgp 2021. Like, what are you even paying for, dog? That is so unacceptable to not even give you new module pieces. It's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable level copy and paste when you go back and look at both. It's unbelievable. And that's the real point of this video right here. I just wanted to show you boys how damn similar. Because it's hard to show that whenever I'm just sitting there, you know, playing Mxgp 2021 and like doing a review on it and talking about how similar everything is. You got to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? You got to see it to believe how unbelievable levels of copy and paste these two games really are. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's almost to the point where I wouldn't even say Mxgp 2021 is even worth $30 or $25 with how similar it is. Do you know what I mean? It's almost getting into that kind of range. It's definitely not worth $60. And some people still want to defend MXGP 2021 or act like, oh, well, it's the next MX. Some of your biggest motocross gaming YouTubers out there want to act like, it's all fine and dandy. MXGP 2021, the next MXGP game, guys. Come check it out. Oh, everything's all fine and dandy. You're getting scammed. Not only by Milestone, but you're getting scammed by some of these other motocross gaming, YouTube channels out there. You're getting... It's unbelievable, bro. Straight up unbelievable. This is like... Oh, man. Oh, man. I hope I've conveyed in this video to you how damn similar both of these games are. Because I think some people are getting really tricked up. They're not realizing it, Either they didn't spend a whole lot of time on MXGP 2020 or skipped it. I think there's a lot of people out there that went from 19 straight to 21. So they don't see all of those similarities quite as much as, you know what I mean? But like, I'm just straight up going to tell you right now, I would rather play MXGP 2020 than I would 21. See how that track's a little bit more wide? Let me get a little more zoomed into the rider here so you can tell. See the width of this track right here? You see how everything's just, it's got a little bit more width to it. Let me jump off the track a little bit here. But like this rut in this corner, in 2021, it's built up like another 10%. But as far as the layout and the scaling, all of that stuff is directly copy and pasted. Directly. Unless there's some new layout change to the track in real life between 2020 and 21. That's the only way they would have changed anything about the track other than a little bit more pre-made roughness, slightly, and a little bit bigger of ruts. But other than that, everything else is exactly the same. But you boys are getting so tricked up. Even just the speed of this game feels better to me. The fluent flow of this game. This is the corner where they really went in there and, jacked up like 3 ruts in the corner that's not on 2020, but it is on 21. You boys that think 21 is so amazing, you're getting lost in the sauce. Milestone is feeding you those little breadcrumbs, and you're thinking it's like this super innovative next level thing to their games. It's actually this corner. Oh, my bad. It's actually this corner. So they did have a little bit of ruttage going on here, but they, instead of having one inside berm, they put like these weird, massive, inside, 3 inside ruts. But it's just, this is nowhere near, even in 21, it's just nowhere near the level of pre-made that you would even have in like custom MX bikes tracks or custom reflex tracks. I mean, they're still not even remotely tapping into what these random community people can make with mods in these other games. Do you know what I mean? They're not even close to that kind of pre-made. They're still in the range of like Untamed level pre-made, even with MXGP 2021. So when you start comparing these games to like all other motocross games, they're not even close. They're not even close, bruh. Straight up. Man, oh man. But yeah, if you have MXGP 2020, I'm telling you right now, there is absolutely no reason to buy 21. No reason. Like, you are literally burning $60 by doing that. That's all you're doing. Like, the only way you could even remotely possibly pull any sort of positive out of MXGP 2021 is if you're the most MXGP fanboy, milestone MXGP fanboy that there is on this planet. Or you're a neutral boy YouTuber that doesn't want to lose any subscribers. That's the only way I could see you defending MXGP 2021 or thinking that it's good in any kind of way. That's the only way I could see that happening, man. It really is. It's just like, oh my gosh, bro. Alright, there ain't nothing else to this video. I just wanted to come in here and point out some of these direct copy and pasted Man alive, dude. I'm actually at a disbelief at how damn similar they have gotten these games. It's actually crazy when you realize how similar they are. Oh my gosh.